kind of awkward for me to be sitting here alone in my room talking to my phone, but I guess that's something I have to do. So as you can see, this is a different video than normal. That's because this is a vlog.
Wow, guys, 50,000 subscribers. I don't know what to say, man. I never thought I would reach that number, 50,000. It's awesome. Thank you guys so much for all of the support. And to celebrate that, we have this special Q&A video in which you guys could ask me 50 questions. And they could be about anything, and I'm just going to answer them truthfully. Fun fact, to kind of bring into scale how many people are now subscribed to me. 50,000 people is about as much people as usually visit the Tomorrowland Festival, visit the Super Bowl, the F1 Dutch Grand Prix, and also, most importantly, the same amount of people that annually visit the Gay Pride in Amsterdam. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm not. It's the actual number. Anyway, let's start with question number 1. First question by Luc Tentaille. What is your toughest moment in racing? That's a good question. I would say that basically any moment in which you have worked hard and it doesn't pay off with the expected or wanted result, that's a pretty tough moment. But if I have to choose my worst moment, it's probably some of the behind the scenes stuff that happened in 2023. I've never really gone into much detail of this, but there were some private things going on behind the scenes which kind of made me lose the fun in karting. You guys didn't see much of that, I think, in the videos, but yeah, that was not fun. And also the COVID pandemic in which we had to stop karting, that was not fun. Second question, what do you think about the RedExions Senior? Because I'm going to drive Tillotson T4 next year, but is it worth it to go? Okay, long question. The RedExions is not for me. You know, in 2022 I've driven it, or 2023 I mean, sorry. I've driven the ID shifter specifically, and yeah, like I said, it's not for me. I will not go into full details because then I'll get lynched by the ID fan base, but yeah, it's just not for me. I think T4 is definitely the best 4-stroke series to start with, as it's both an international championship, it's FIA approved, and in my opinion it gets closer to quote-unquote real karting than anything. And no, I would say it's not worth it to go to the RedExions Senior after a couple of years, but yeah, rotax, solid choice. It all depends on your budget, unfortunately. What are the differences when switching from T4 to rotax? Well, basically everything. The kart's much faster, the engine's faster, setup gets 10 times more complex, the tires have a lot more grip, so your entire driving style has to change. Everything gets almost twice as expensive, you have to think about a lot more things, a lot more responsibilities. Basically everything is different. But in terms of driving, it's basically the speed and the driving style, which turns from quite an aggressive driving style for T4 to a very smooth and conservative driving style for rotax. Are you going to do any rotax races in the UK?
You just wait, sunshine. You just wait.
Are you going to take your racing career any further, like F4 or car racing in the future? Or are you going to stay in karting? Well, excellent question. Of course, when I was a kid, I always wanted to be an F1 driver, but I discovered quite quickly that basically is not possible. Not only because it requires a huge amount of talent, which I may or may not have, but also the funds. So this is actually not really that well known by many people, but basically right up to F1 you have to pay for everything that happens, and if you just don't have the funds, then yeah, too bad for you. How did you get your first sponsor? Great question. I got my first sponsor by making videos, just showing my face out there, putting myself out there, being honest, and then I got approached by K-Racing. So what I basically did was I just created a platform which was valuable for the sponsors, and because of that, sponsors came to me automatically. Simple. What would you say your favorite race weekend has been in your whole career? Excellent question. That either has to be the 2024 Nations Cup. Just everything went right that weekend and we won it, of course. Also Copenhagen 2024 in rotax. That was also a good one, which it did leave a sour aftertaste because of the penalty I got, which cost me a win, but hey. And you might be thinking that I'm just listing the weekends that went well, and yeah, that's basically what it is. I enjoy doing well. That's what makes it so fun for me. I really want to win, and seeing all of your hard work and dedication be turned into a trophy, that's the most satisfying thing you can ever experience, in my opinion. How do I get into senior rotax, and what are some budget tips, like saving money and resources? Money! Okay, so that's the short answer. Long answer, like in any motorsport class, you get in by just buying your way in. You buy the right card or you buy a seat in a team. Yeah, it really all comes down to you. And again, that's what people usually don't understand about motorsports. It's really all about what can you pay and what can you afford. That's what you can drive. That's unfortunately how this world works. If you want a budget tip from me, get a used race card from a team. They usually sell pretty fresh cards for not that high of a price. And then just keep watching my videos. I think I put a lot of hints in there. How did you start karting? Because I'm like in rental carts right now and I don't know how to go to like real racing with karts. Well, again, this is basically the same answer as what I've been giving this entire video. It's all about how much you can spend on it. There's no like real program to get up to it. It's really what can you afford, what can you buy? And from there, it's all up to you. There's no one going to come to you saying like, hey, do you want to drive this and this? Yes, they actually, I'm lying, they actually will do that. But you still have to pay. It's not that there's some sort of academy or something that gets you a free seat. No, you have to buy it, you have to pay for everything, you have to arrange everything. That's how it works. Where was your first karting victory and when? How was it? Well, it depends on what you call my first victory. Because of course I've won races in rental karts when I was like 8 years old. You could count that as my first victory. Then when I did rotax races, I immediately won my first club race. But that was because my dad didn't really read the rule books properly. And we changed something on the setup which wasn't allowed. So you could say that's my first win. Then we have to skip ahead almost 10 years to Copenhagen 2024, in which I won the pre-final. You could count that as my first win. Or you could go back to the RedExions shifter race in the 2023 Dutch Championship. You could count that. Or T4 first round of 2023. What do you count as a first win, man? I don't know. What made you want to get into karting / how did you find out about owner karting? Great question. Well, imagine 8-year-old me, slightly autistic, slightly awkward in class and basically not really making friends. School advised me to get into some sort of team sport. Being the 8-year-old RedExions that I was, I hated basically anything that had to do with sports. There wasn't a single sport that I liked or I was good at. But whilst all of this was happening, my dad was playing a video game called DTM Race Driver 3. And I used to always play it to just crash, so basically the same as what I do nowadays. No, just kidding. He told me to actually try a lap like for real for once. And then I did, and then I liked it, and I think you can understand where it goes from here. What's your favorite helmet brand? Alright, no competition. What was your goal when you started your YouTube journey? And what's your goal now? So that goal has kind of changed. I just started it for fun in like 2013 when I was 11 years old. I just posted random stuff, like some race reports that I did. Nothing serious basically. But then during COVID, of course we had to quit karting, and then I kind of, with the help of my dad, came to the idea to use the YouTube channel as a way to get sponsors and to get back into racing, and that's exactly what happened. But now I would consider the goal to be helping new people discover the world of karting, getting misconceptions about motorsport out of this world, and really just giving all of you guys the best possible information source to start karting, like showing karting how it really is from the perspective of someone who just races for fun on a relatively small budget and who just wants to make the best out of every single penny he puts into the sport. The content is for anyone to watch. Anyone is welcome to watch the videos. What are your plans for 2026? So I want to focus on building the channel more, so that will include participating in races that have a higher view potential. The problem that I have with the channel is that, of course, when I race my rotax, that's all fun and stuff, but most average Joes, as I will call them, don't know what owner karting is. So they see a video of an owner kart on the video on Facebook or something, or on Instagram, I don't care, and then they see the rotax, but they don't know what it is, so they swipe. But when they see a rental kart, for example, or a race car, that's something that clicks instantly, because everyone knows what a rental kart and everyone knows what a race car is. With a rotax, that's not the case. So those are some clues of what I'm planning for 2026, but nothing's confirmed yet, and I'm kind of still hoping someone will give me a seat in cars. So if anyone's watching, contact me. Do you have any pets? Yes, I do. We currently have one cat. And we used to have a dog called Brutus, a French Mastiff. Unfortunately, he died last year, which was really sad. I still miss him, of course. You've seen him on the channel a few times, probably. But no, only one cat as of now. Why aren't you driving KR and now Tony? Well, excellent question again. In my opinion, the Kart Republic didn't really work anymore for senior rotax in our case. So we just started looking for a different platform that seemed to be scoring more consistently, and that's definitely the OTK chassis. Still, any category you go to, or most categories you go to, are still dominated by the OTK chassis. So I think that proves its point. Now though, I think it would be different. The KR chassis has evolved. I've been quite negative about it in the past, but maybe now there is some potential in it again. I would love to give it a try if someone gave me a shot at it. Because also internationally the KR has been doing much better. Also in other classes it's doing fine. Just in senior rotax the OTK appears to be dominant. So yeah, that's why. Bro, have you ever heard of something about the SWS series? What do you think about it? Yes, I've heard of it. I'm not really fully up to date with it. I believe it's a pretty high level rental karting series with organized by Saudi. And yeah, I think it's good. I'm not a person who hates on a category just because it's cheaper. I think people who do that are absolutely disgusting. That's my honest opinion. There's really no point in laughing about a series because it's cheaper. I have to say, I might have been in that camp too a few years ago. But I really learned my lesson when our budget dried up. And I've learned to respect the cheaper series for what they are. I started karting just this year. Is there any tip to get faster on pace? On every track I'm about 1.5 seconds off the pace in senior driving 10-year-old chassis and pre-evo engine. Everybody tells me that it comes with time, but it's frustrating. The problem you're describing could basically be anything. I really don't have enough context to make a solid claim about that. The old chassis plus the pre-evo engine definitely don't help. I'm not saying that you'll be instantly on the pace if you buy everything new, but what you have now is definitely not helping. I would say keep watching the videos, learn from it, maybe invest in new stuff when you can. And make sure you just drive a lot. That's all I can say. Who is the driver you have raced against that has come the furthest in motorsport? There's a few. It depends on also what you consider raced against. I've raced against former F1 drivers, F3 drivers, F2 drivers in a rental kart race last year. Don't know if you count that. If you think about like rotax or something, let me have a think. You could say Nina Gademan, she's in F1 Academy now. Depends on... I wouldn't necessarily say that F1 Academy is far though in terms of motorsport ladder. One person, a few drivers who have come far in terms of karting are definitely Senna van Walstein, who's I think racing in the FIA KZ World Championships with tonykart. I'm not 100% sure. I've raced Joe Turney in the B&O karting series, who is factory driver for KR now in the FIA Championships. In terms of actual motorsports, let me have a think. There's several drivers who are now either in Formula cars or GT cars. There's so many of them, I can't name them all. But how did you discover the best tire pressure per track? And what's something to keep in mind to find the perfect tire pressure window? Great question. So you basically start off with a certain base, let's say, 0.6 bars or something. That's what you start with. Then you measure the tire temps, the surface temps. If they're a bit too low, you go down on pressure. If you're a bit too high, you go up on pressure and you adjust your driving style accordingly. Usually you can just give the seller a call like, hey, what's the perfect tire pressure? How much did content creation help you in racing and how did you manage everything? Well, without content, I don't think I would have ever raced again after 2020. My dad also has a huge part to play in that. It was basically, it was more or less his idea. He just gave me the spark that ignited the flame to this channel. So yeah, that's quite important, I guess. And yeah, as of now, the content has really created a brand around me. So I also have quite a lot of clients in terms of coaching, which brings in money, which allows me to race again. So yeah, I would say that without content, I would be nowhere. And how did I manage everything? Just keep going. Believe in yourself. That's what I did. Keep going. Even if the views are bad on a specific video, don't give up. Just keep trying new things every day. And you really gotta learn that if you want something, no one's going to do it for you. You have to do it all yourself. And yeah, that's what I'm doing. When will we see you in GT cars? Well, again, like I've said many times, this is basically 100% down to either budget or sponsors. I don't have any big sponsors right now, actually, which is a bit annoying, but I'm working on it behind the scenes. So I hope I can tell you guys more. And yeah, if it was me, I would have been racing cars already. I think it's a logical step after karting and at my age, but like I said, it's all about money. I don't have the funds right now, but if someone's open to working with me, absolutely, give me a call, man. I'll jump in the car, don't worry. What is your favorite karting track and why? Ooh, great question. There's a few ones I liked. I like Vojens in Denmark. I like Roskilde in Denmark. I like Kerpen in Germany. Those are definitely the favorites. And I still want to drive in a South Garda karting, Lonato in Italy. I've been there once as a mechanic and it absolutely blew my mind, even though I didn't drive there, so that one's definitely high on the bucket list. Did you start in rental karts at a kart school like KWM, or did you immediately start in an owner kart? No, I definitely started in rentals. I stayed there for about 4 years. And I started in my local karting track in my hometown, Breda, which unfortunately just recently closed down permanently because I think they went bankrupt. They had some sort of fire, which is not great. I'm actually quite sad about that. Piece of RedExions history that's gone. I actually went there last year, tested their new karts, and I also drove my own rotax there, which was pretty cool. What's the most realistic karting simulator? In my opinion, none of them are really realistic. I haven't felt a karting sim ever that really got the details of driving a kart exactly right. Most sims kind of underestimate how little steering input you need to give these things before they rotate. I'm yet to see one that I'm fully convinced by, if I'm completely honest. How do you manage to combine school, social media and racing? Well, I don't go to school anymore. I have my own business, so that's that. And social media and racing are basically a part of that. So I do the online coaching, as you guys know, together with AM Motor. I do in real life coaching as well. I'm a mechanic for karting as well. I'm also an official OTK and rotax dealer, so I also sell parts and work on karts, sell karts, etc. And I work for my dad a few days a week. I sometimes do odd jobs for my aunt's business. So I'm actually quite busy, and it's basically all about racing. But I want to spend less and less money on racing as I get older, because of course I need to buy a house, I need to start a family someday. So yeah, by just keeping busy, making sure that I love what I do, that really helps, because I am really of the opinion you need to love what you do, because then you don't have to work a day in your life. And I'm lucky enough that I have that. Who was your motorsport inspiration when growing up? Absolutely 100% Ayrton Senna. I also like Verstappen's mentality that he's just there to race and to win, but that's something that has come only in the last couple of years. I wasn't really a huge Verstappen fan growing up, but I've come to respect the guy's old school mindset as of lately. Also, Fernando Alonso, definitely one up there. If you would have to start karting now from the beginning and you don't have a lot of money but a lot of motivation and you are 16 years old, how would you try to get into the top of motorsport? Would you take karting lessons with rental karting and after that would you buy your own kart, or how would you do it? Okay, so you're basically asking what you have to do in your situation, and what I would do is start out in rental karting, try to win as much in there as I can. Try to improve my skills in there. Use the wins that I get to make content, share my knowledge, get sponsors, and then move up to Tillotson T4. I think that's what I would do. Where do you get the money from and how can we get it too? Well, like I just explained, I work a lot. I unfortunately don't have a billionaire dad who can buy me a Formula 1 team. In the beginning, he of course did fund all of my racing when I was younger, which I am eternally thankful for, of course. But as of now, I just work very hard to get all of my budget in order, and this is all I can do. I would love to go up more and race in higher levels of motorsport, but I can't afford to do that, so that's that. When are you going to drive WSK promotion? Well, again, I don't think I have the budget for that. If I want to do that seriously, I would have to drive KZ2. I do think with enough testing and enough budget, I would be able to compete on that level, absolutely. I have that confidence, but yeah, budget. What's your favorite karting brand? Seriously. What were the things you thought after you became world champion? Well, great question. To be honest, I was rather calm. It was more of like a confirmation to myself that I can at least win something. And that something being the T4 World Championship. Of course, it was nice to feel, but it was not like a very euphoric feeling. It just felt like I did my job properly for once. Yeah, it did make me hungry to win even more and to win even more challenging races. Do you recommend starting content creation to fund karting, or does it take too much time and money to be worth it? Love the videos, Ram. Well, thank you for the support, man. Yes, it can help in funding content if you have a lot of time for it and if you know what you're doing. Like if you are very creative and are willing to try 10,000 things of which only one works, yeah, definitely go for it, man. I want to buy a rotax for hobby passion karting. just for open practice sessions at the Dubai Kart Drome. Should I go for a senior max or DD2, and what chassis would you recommend? Thanks, bro. Just go for a senior max with a tonykart chassis. That's the most bang for your buck, in my opinion. Dream car and best kart chassis you drove? Best kart chassis I drove was definitely the Kart Republic when it was in its prime in 2019, for me at least. And my dream car? I don't know actually. Lamborghini Aventador? Not sure. Do you think it's possible for me or other people to get sponsored by doing rental karting? I want my own kart but don't have the money. Thanks, Bram. Yes, it's definitely possible. It's all about how well you are able to sell yourself and sell your image, because most people don't understand that sponsors don't really care about results most of the time. They just care about value that it brings them. So if you can actually give them a commercial benefit by providing visibility online, yeah, absolutely. Have you ever raced karts in the US, and will you ever race in the US? No, I've never been to the US before, but I would certainly love to race in the US if someone would ever give me the opportunity. What's necessary to have you competing in a Formula car?
Money!
Yeah. I cannot stress this enough. As long as you have the money, you can basically do whatever you want in motorsport. Who is the most famous racing driver who you have spoken with, and what's your opinion on them? The most famous racing driver I've spoken with is Max Verstappen. I met him once in Zandvoort in 2016. Yeah, like I said, I like his old school mentality. Super talented driver, of course. And I think in terms of like ultimate Sigma mentality, he is an example for everyone. He just thinks he's the best. He drives like that too. He just does what he's supposed to do, and he leaves all of that like politics bullshit out of the sport, which I think is very important. He's a racing driver. He shouldn't like comment on things that are not important to racing, in my opinion. And he doesn't, so yeah, that's also what I do. Why don't you compete in bigger classes of karting, and are you still going to Tilston 4 series? First of all, I haven't driven a T4 since November last year because I quit the series. I think I announced that quite convincingly. And yeah, again, if I had the money to race in higher classes, I definitely would. Opinion on the new F1 movie? I haven't seen it, to be honest, and I think that's a good thing if I look at what most people say about it. Why always OTK karts and smaller series? Why not a cheaper kart in the RMC, for example? No offense to small series, of course. Because that's not really how it works. In my opinion, if you want to be competitive in senior rotax, you definitely need the OTK chassis. Like most of the money that you spend on karting does not come from buying the kart. It comes from the testing and the amount of money you have to spend on perfecting your driving and perfecting the setup. So let's say I pick a cheaper kart, then in the grand scheme of things that would make basically zero difference in terms of how expensive the whole season would be. Will you ever race in America? Okay, I think we had this question before, but yes, I would if someone would give me the opportunity. How did it feel to win your first race? Again, it kind of depends on what you describe as my first win. But winning always feels good, doesn't matter which level. But definitely winning the Nations Cup was very nice, and also my first rotax win was extremely nice. It's like a physical assurance that you are not like stupid. That's really nice, that you actually know what you're doing. Are you planning to do a subscriber race sometime? I'm not planning to do it, but that's actually a really good idea for like 100k subs or something. Thanks. Can you share with us your gym routine? Sure, here it is on screen, have a read at it, and yeah. Have you ever driven a KZ shifter kart, and will you ever do a video dedicated to this category? I've never driven a KZ shifter kart. I have driven a 4-stroke shifter kart, but that thing was basically slower than my Rotax Senior, so yeah, not really special. And I would love to try KZ one day. Unfortunately, again, it's just too expensive for me to race. But if someone would ever give me the opportunity, I would take it immediately. What is the best junior go-kart to start in? Again, this kind of depends on how much budget you have. If you don't have any budget, just stick with rentals. If you have a bit more budget than that, go with the T4 Junior. If you have still more budget than that, go with the Rotax Max Junior. And if you have even more budget, go to the OK Junior. What's one thing you've learned from karting that also helps you succeed as a content creator on YouTube? Great question. What I have learned is to always ask myself the question, what can I do better next time? But stop blaming the algorithm, stop blaming bad luck. Always ask yourself, what could you have done to prevent this situation? Of course, there's exceptions to that. Not everything can be influenced by you, but you should always ask yourself the question. And really, if you want something, work hard for it, because no one's going to do it for you. Well guys, that concludes the Q&A. Thank you again so much for all of the support over the last years. I really love all of you guys. Thank you so much. 50,000 is an insane number. It's halfway to my goal of reaching 100,000 subscribers because I just really want to win that play button one day. And we're halfway there. Thanks to all of you guys. Thank you for the support over the last few years. I hope you're all doing well and see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much.